Good evening, everyone. It is 5:01 PM and I call this public meeting to order. I want to thank everyone who's joining us this evening. If you want to make a public comment on the items listed under closed session agenda, please listen carefully to the directions provided by the clerk at the opening of each item. Mrs. Martinez?
Public hearing for visitors who wish to address the board on closed session items. 15 minutes of this portion of the meeting are reserved for members of the public to address the board on closed session items. Speakers seeking to comment on other items are requested to make those comments during the public comment portion of the meeting at 6:30 PM. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. The school board is prohibited by law from taking action on matters discussed that are not on the agenda, and no adverse conclusion should be drawn if the school board does not respond to public comment at this time. If you wish to address the board on an item included in this section of the agenda, please step up to the podium and state your name and city of residence. If you are joining us remotely and would like to make a public comment, click on the reactions icon located at the bottom of your screen. In the reactions window, click on the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. We will allow speakers from the audience to address the board in the order they approach the podium or appear on our screen. President Salazar, we do not have participants who wish to address the board at this time.
Thank you, Mrs. Martinez. Seeing none, hearing none, I close the public hearing and adjourn to closed session to discuss items 1A through 1D. The board will reconvene at the conclusion of closed session. Good evening, everyone. It is 6:41 PM and I call this regular meeting to order. Welcome to tonight's board meeting. I want to welcome the media and everyone joining us in person and via Zoom. We ask those joining us this evening to please silence any electronic devices not linked to this meeting. If you would like to make a public comment, please listen carefully to the directions provided by the clerk at the opening of each public comment period. Superintendent Lyle.
President Salazar, Kirk Mendoza, members of the board and staff and members of the public and all the people that we have here tonight. I'd like to remind us all of our vision and our mission. Our vision states that Madera Unified will set the standard for hard work, creativity, and resiliency with a fearless drive to continuously improve. And our mission states that we're committed to creating and sustaining a culture, enabling Madera Unified students to experience an unparalleled educational journey that is intellectually, socially, and personally transformative. I think we'll have an example of that tonight. And that is the nature of our work this evening.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Item number 3, roll call. Mrs. Martinez, please call the roll.
First, Trustee Garza. Trustee Duque Martinez.
Present.
Trustee Ahmad.
Here.
Trustee Cortez.
Here.
Trustee Dybert.
Here.
Trustee Fleek.
Here.
Trustee Seibert.
Here.
Clerk Mendoza.
Here.
President Salazar.
Here. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Martinez. Trustee Cortez, would you please lead us in the flag salute?
Yes, everybody, please stand. Ready, salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, the nation, God, indivisible.
Thank you, Trustee Cortez. Tonight's scheduled invocation will be provided by Pastor Mike Sosa of Harvest Community Church of Madera. I invite Mike Sosa to the podium.
Pray with me. God, who creates and sustains, you extend grace and show love to all that has life. We offer thanks for the blessing it is to live in this fair community of Madera. We ask that you continue to provide for us as we work and live here. Life-giving Spirit, we pray for the United Madera Unified School District Board of Trustees as they meet here this evening, intent on doing good work. Enable them to represent fairly and well. May the board's efforts be blessed with insight, guided by understanding and wisdom, and woven together with fairness, kindness, and compassion. May they seek to serve with respect for all, give them discernment through all the issues before them to keep the best interests of the students, faculty, administrations, family, and our community in mind. May their personal faiths give them the strength to act honestly and well in the matters before them. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Sosa. Closed session reportable actions, Superintendent Lyle.
President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, we have none this evening.
Thank you. Adoption of the agenda, Mrs. Martinez.
Action to add or delete items from any portion of the agenda or to discuss any consent agenda items must be taken prior to the adoption of the agenda. Board by Law 9323.2.
Superintendent Lyle, does staff have items to add or remove from the agenda?
None this evening, ma'am.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Trustees, do you have any items to add or delete from the agenda? Trustee Ahmad?
No.
Trustee Cortez?
No.
Trustee Dybert?
No.
Trustee Fleek?
None, thank you.
Trustee Seibert? Consent agenda. You want to put it to new business? Yeah, so we'll add it to new business, so we'll make it 12-3, 12A3,
President Salzar, what item is that?
11, what is it? We're moving 11B1, which is award of the bid for Matilda Torres High School Pool Bleachers Project. Bid number 011224 will be moved. It falls under administrative support and services. We're going to move it to new business and it'll be under item 12A3. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Trustee Seibert. Clerk Mendoza,
Nothing, thank you.
and none for myself. Trustees, do I have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda as presented? Please state your name when you make the motion and note the correction of what we're moving item 11B1. Do I have a motion, trustees?
Trustee Dybert, I move to adopt the agenda with the modification of pulling item B1 to
11B1.
11B1 to new business for a separate discussion.
Thank you. Do I have a
Trustee Fleek, I'll second.
Thank you. It has been moved by trustee Dybert and second by trustee Fleek to adopt the agenda as presented with the modification of moving 11B1 to new business as 12A3. Mrs. Martinez, please pull the board for the record.
Trustee Duque Martinez,
Yes.
trustee Garza, trustee Ahmad,
Yes.
trustee Cortez,
Yes.
trustee Dybert,
Yes.
trustee Fleek,
Yes.
trustee Seibert,
Yes.
clerk Mendoza,
Yes.
President Salazar.
Yes.
President Salazar, I counted 8 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, 1 absent. One of the votes is preferential.
Thank you, Mrs. Martinez. Item number 6, communications, student staff recognition. Item number 6A1, recognition of Torres High School football team. Superintendent Lyle.
President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board and public, we have with us a bunch of young men in the back. We can hear them. They're barely able to hold still because I have a feeling they're still just as proud as they could possibly be. Before I invite Mr. Bitter, our Director of District Athletics, to come forward and introduce this group, I want to remind the board that Madera Unified has played football, or the city of Madera has played football for about 120 seasons. Torres had exactly 3 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. Up to now, or has it been 4? It's 3 total, right, of varsity football. And so in the 120 years it took to get to this point in community history when it comes to the sport of football, we had never had a section championship. I know I played real hard trying to get one, but we were nowhere close. And so did Coach Murphy back there, and there are others in the audience that are listening who put in their time in Coyote or Stallion football trying to get to this point. But it took the proud Toros to bring home our very first section championship in the history of this community. So with that, I'd like to introduce our Director of Athletics for the district, Mr. Marty Bitter, for this item. Mr. Bitter?
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle, and good evening, President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, and members of the board. I know last time we were here, it's always exciting to come, obviously, and bring kids. And last time, I think I talked a bit about how busy it was. I don't think we've ever been this busy. So I want to give a plug, first of all, to wrestling. If any of you have some free time, Friday and Saturday, they've asked Madera to host the Grandmasters, the section championships for wrestling at Selland Arena. It's been a huge undertaking for us. You can imagine when we host in a gym, it's one thing, but when you move to a massive arena, it's a whole nother ball game.
And
So
freezing.
and yeah, oh yeah. And we've sent through, I know I've heard many times, why don't we have just one sports team? And we can have 3 schools, let's have one sports team. But we got 22 guys through that'll be competing in the Masters, and we got 7 girls. There's only 14 weights. So that's one of the reasons why we have multiple sports teams. We got plenty of opportunities for kids. So that is going on. So I want to say congratulations to all those kids, along with the Toros, who won their second wrestling section championship, and eventually they'll be here. Also, when you start a new school, hiring the football coach is critical, because I think when you start a school, how the football team kind of sets the tone for how that school kind of grows, right? And the culture and all those things. And it was a difficult choice, but there's no question in my mind that we got the right guy. And with that said, I know that he's doing the right thing, because when you said stand up for the flag salute, I watched those kids immediately take their hats off. And I thought, okay, we're on the right track here. So before we introduce Coach Marquez, I'm going to turn it over to the athletic director there, who's also doing a fabulous job, Mr. Jordan Murphy.
I had to bring a little cheat sheet for my football team. Thank you, Superintendent Lyle, President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, and Board of Trustees. Like you said, 3 years of playing football and having this much success. In 2021-22, that was our first varsity football season. We went 3-7. We went to the playoffs and almost had a first-round upset, which was going to be awesome. Fell a little short. Our second year, we actually got into the league at NYL, which was awesome to be in a league. So we weren't freelancing anymore, which was very difficult to schedule football games. But in our first year in the NYL, we went 9-4 overall, 6-1 in the NYL, took second place, and made it to the semifinals where we lost. This year, these guys had a lot of hunger in them. They wanted to win. They wanted to take it all. I think that's what they talked about all season long. From summer, we want to win a championship. We want to be that first team. We want to be that team to be successful in Madera. And that's exactly what they did. This year, they went 11-4 overall, 6-1 in league, took second place again. We're the first team in Torres High football, was the first team in Torres High for football to win a section champion. First team at Torres to go to the state bowl game, which was awesome. And then also, like Mr. Lyle said, first team in Madera Unified to win a section championship and bring that success in football back to Madera. So that was huge undertaking. That was shocking to me that no team in Madera had ever won a section championship in football. I think I called Mr. Bitter. Mr. Bitter called Mr. Lyle. And then here goes a chain calls of everybody. So it was awesome. And what has brought this success is obviously our head football coach. I'd like to bring him up, Coach Marquez.
I gotta move that down. I'm not quite as tall as Jordan is. First of all, thank you guys for the Board of Trustees for having us tonight. We really appreciate the recognition. And it's always a great thing to be able to have the kids out and show them some love for all the hard work that they do. Thank you, Jordan. And for our admin team, some of them are here. Mr. Bitter, thank you as well. A really great season, as the 2 gentlemen before me have kind of laid out for you guys. Historical was one word that we used a lot. We weren't planning. It wasn't an outright goal to make history, but the way things fall and work out, we got about into playoffs and somebody said to me, hey, nobody's ever done this before. I was, oh, really? I didn't really know that. So, it's a truly a blessing and a lot of hard work and a lot of hands outside of my own and outside of this room really went into helping these guys achieve what they did. Some of our coaches here tonight, I got to turn around so I can see them. I was here. Coaches, can you come to the front so I can introduce you just in front of the pile? Yeah, they're being shy. Jeremiah Aycock, our offensive coordinator. You got to come all the way up. Yeah, Chris Scott, our defensive linebacker coach. Nick Southern, our quarterback coach and JV offensive coordinator. Preston Scott, wide receiver DB coach. And Taylor Beeks, our head JV coach and one of our wide receiver coaches on varsity. Not everybody could be here tonight, but I wanted to make sure we put a name to some of the faces that are out there. Some of our players couldn't be here as well, as they're in the middle of a playoff basketball game hosting Corcoran at Torres right now. And then a few other ones are over in Minarets finishing up a baseball game. But again, I just want to say thank you. Thank you all. We really appreciate the support. I can't really speak of the amount of work that went into this over the last 3 years. I think a lot of the outside eyes got to see, us always on the practice field, always in the weight room, always in the classroom, trying to become better young men. But words really can't express the actual amount of work that these guys did and, what they were able to achieve in those 3 years. So not just the season, the championship run, but the culmination of what they've done over the that 3-7 season that Murphy really mentioned really went into this one as well, because it's the same team. One of the things that we don't really realize is that usually you have teams come through, you have championship teams that are, you get different kids in different years, but these guys, the guys behind me, have been doing this for the past 3. It's been the same team the whole time because we are brand new. So they work really, really hard and we're able to achieve their ultimate goal. So thank you again.
So timeout.
Yeah.
I'd throw the red flag right now if I had one, because we need to go back to the tape and review how that game happened at Dos Palace. Not everybody here was there, but there are a lot of people who were there here. And I was there, and I've been in that stadium many times, coached against, played against DP. And I know for sure that they have the second most section championships in state history. They want you to know that too, because it's plastered all over the stadium when you walk in. You could see it without glasses from 80 yards away.
Yeah.
Crystal clearly, right? Everything's in letters this big every year they ever won. So we went from having 0, and they have one of the state's most elite traditions that was behind them, and their crowd was packed. What not everyone in this room knows is it was standing room only on the visitor side, because there were so many Toros fans there. There was no place for anybody to sit, and it was better to huddle together because it was cold. And within about 3 minutes of game time, about 3 minutes into the first quarter, their fans quit cheering and realized this was going to be an old-fashioned whooping.
Yeah.
And here's the best part of it all. And I had a couple of Dos Palace connections of mine tell me this. These gentlemen in the back handled that win at such a historic place and in such style. It was really embarrassing for the Broncos to be dealt with like that in their home stadium. But the way you and your coaches managed that was pure sportsmanship. And their audience, their crowd recognized that. These are great kids, and they're led to be great kids. That starts at the top. We saw that. The parents in the audience understand that that's true. I saw it with my own eyes. I watched how you guys handled things on the field afterwards. And for all of our coaches out there who wonder if it matters to Madera Unified, the way we lead our kids and the way we model the kind of behavior that we believe in, I just want to put that to rest. We notice, and it matters. And you guys did a fantastic job. You made us very, very proud, not just by the win, but the way that you won. It matters. And I think that starts with Ms. Rodriguez and her team. I think that starts with you and your team. I think that starts with Jordan and the team of coaches that he's putting together. And it matters to our district. So congratulations, everybody who took a leadership role in this. It mattered. We noticed.
Thank you.
Start right there. Congratulations. 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 These guys, man, you guys, I'm proud of you guys. Congratulations. Yeah. Step up, Dylan. So they can get. Congratulations. Proud of you guys.
You guys taking any pride?
I noticed. Congratulations. 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 Hey, Preston, did you play at Edison?
Yes.
Did you play with Kyrie?
Yeah.
I thought so. That's my godson. Yeah. So I knew Day Day. I think about you guys. I remember you, man. So gentlemen, as you guys leave, just keep in mind, people like Beeks played here and they teach and they coach here. That's something to consider as you start making your way into the world, walking off stage in graduation. Like we value you, and it'd be great if you go out and make your way in the world, but make your life right here. And if you can give back to our kids just the way you received and you learned how to be champions, if you pass that on to Madera kids, we'll be that much prouder of you. The legacy will live on. So congratulations to you. You might want to share with the trustees where we are right now in playoffs and that who's going to be coming in the very near future. Because you're going to be bringing forward more kids.
Well, thank you. And yeah, they are good young men. And coaches put together a very unique staff that just has some wonderful qualities. So they got really good things going on. Before I leave, this is playoff season. So, talk about pressing. I told you about wrestling, but on top of that, the ADs we've had a very good winter. The ADs are all hosting games, right? They're trying to host their own soccer games or get their teams on the road or get their fields ready or get the buses while I'm trying to get them into Fresno to help with another event because it's all hands on deck. So the hours that they're putting in right now is immense, but it's a great time. We have boys and girls soccer and boys and girls basketball are going on, and they pair girls soccer and boys basketball on the same night. So playoffs started tonight. And the boys were behind a little bit at halftime. They're playing over at Torres against Corcoran. The girls won in soccer. Toro girls won in soccer 5-1. The Toro girls are boys and girls soccer 1 seeds in their division. So there's a really good chance that there might be some more teams coming through. The Stallions were playing when I left to come over here. That's an 8 and a 9. And the boys are a 6 seed. So a lot of home games, which is awesome. That's a great sign that our kids are doing positive things. So hopefully we'll be back as long as you guys will keep having us. I always think it's a good way to start a meeting. So thank you.
Thank you. Superintendent Lyle. So now the Madera minutes, Superintendent Lyle.
President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, now's the time we look back at the highlights of our last few weeks, and they have been absolutely busy. Here you go.
High School's 2023 Coyote softball team received their Central Section Division II CIF championship rings at the James Flores Gym on Friday, January 26. Madera High School softball has won 4 CIF championships in 1989, 2015, 2016, and 2023, all under Coach Judy Schauback. Congratulations to the team and coaches. Madera Unified held the first ever Art Jam competition for elementary and secondary school students. The event, coordinated by the school's district visual and performing arts department, aimed to allow students to experience new and innovative contests encompassing visual arts. Some of the contests included sketching, painting, sculpture, and media art. The top 3 elementary, middle, and high school teams received a team trophy and medals during the awards ceremony. Congratulations to MUSD alum Diego Mosqueda, who recently became the first ever graduate of the newly formed U.S. branch of service called Space Force. Mosqueda spent 7 weeks in basic training at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas, and graduated in August of 2023 with top honors. Mosqueda now joins other Madera Unified alum in the program, including Madera High School graduate Nicole Petrucci, who was promoted to colonel in the U.S. Space Force. When students returned from winter break, 8th grade students and their parents and guardians were invited to attend preview days at the high school their children will be transitioning to next school year. This event allowed students to explore the various educational opportunities at their future high school. Site leadership also held fun events and rallies so the guests could get a glimpse of the campus's school spirit, traditions, and culture. For the first time in Madera Unified School District's history, all 3 high schools are sending a cheer squad to the USA Nationals competitions in Anaheim, California on February 16th. Madera, Madera South, and Torres High School will compete with over 500 high schools nationwide. The cheer teams, coaches, and advisors held a combined cheer fundraiser to send the 3 teams to nationals. The event was held at the Matilda Torres High School gym on February 12th, where the community was able to watch all 3 schools perform their national routine together. MUSD and the community will be cheering them on when they go to nationals this week. Congratulations to Madera High School, who won the Super Quiz competition during the yearly county academic decathlon. The Super Quiz format this year allows students in each round to discuss the question before making their individual selections. Also, a big congratulations to the Torres High School boys wrestling team for winning back-to-back CIF Central Section Division 5 championships. Madera Unified is proud of your well-deserved accomplishment for the 2nd year in a row. Another congratulations to the Torres High School varsity girls soccer team, who are the 2024 NYL champions after going undefeated through the whole season. Recently, the Madera Unified School District's leadership welcomed a visit from Yolanda Martinez, a Madera High School alumna. Martinez's remarkable story from 1964 gained renewed attention following a Madera Tribune article. The story highlights a memorable event when Academy Award-winning actor Gregory Peck visited Madera High School in April 1964 to give a talk. Peck was particularly impressed by the students and singled out senior Yolanda Martinez for her exceptional leadership in a statewide fundraising campaign for the American Cancer Society. Peck's admiration for Martinez was so profound that he continued to commend her efforts in speeches across California 6 months after his visit. Thank you to Mrs. Martinez for her visit and for retelling your incredible story.
Thank you. Item number 6B, public hearing for visitors who wish to speak on a subject not on the board agenda. Mrs. Martinez?
15 minutes of this portion of the meeting are reserved for members of the public to address the board on items not listed on the agenda and within the jurisdiction of the school board. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. If the subject is an item on the agenda, the board president has the option of asking the speaker to hold the comment until that item is called. Comments on items listed as a public hearing on the agenda should be held until the hearing is open. The school board is prohibited by law from taking action on matters discussed that are not on the agenda, and no adverse conclusions should be drawn if the school board does not respond to public comment at this time. If you wish to address the board on an item not on the board agenda, please step up to the podium, state your name and city of residence. If you are joining remotely and would like to make a public comment, click on the reactions icon located at the bottom of your screen. In the reactions window, click on the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. Speakers will be allowed to address the board in the order they approach the podium or appear on our screen. President Salazar, we do not have participants who wish to address the board at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Seeing or hearing no one, I close the public hearing. Item number 7, Student Board Representative Report. Laura Mendoza Soria of Madera High School and Vanessa Martinez Lira of Madera South High School. I invite Laura Mendoza Osorio to present the Madera High Student Board Representative Report.
Good evening, Board President Salazar, Superintendent Lyle, Clerk Mendoza, and all board members and committee members. I hope you are all doing well today. I would like to start off first by introducing our FCCLA. FCCLA has come together this week, February 12th to the 16th, to celebrate FCCLA Week by honoring each day with a specific activity that relates to FCCLA, such as giving out Rice Krispies to our staff and students around campus, participating in games, and the reason why they joined FCCLA, and including what has been the best part of being a part of this club. Link Crew recently had the first meeting back from winter break. They discussed future events for our freshman class, including the next 2 academic follow-ups, and then wrapping it up with the 2023 and 2024 yearbook photo. Recently, our varsity cheer team performed at Clovis West Showcase, with our prep team taking home 2nd place overall. Congratulations to these teams for winning the 2024 CFI Norwegian Cheer Championships. On January 25th, we welcome our future Coyotes to Madera High School with an eventful day, including an amazing rally, meeting their counselors, CET shops, and performing arts. Over the past 3 weeks, our academic decathlon team has competed in 10 different academic categories, bringing home 29 different medals. This amazing group of students finished 2nd overall in Madera County and are this year's Super Quiz champions. In addition, Stephen Gomez, who has won a $250 scholarship, and congrats to Sofia Garcia, who has received this year's Team Coach Award. With an exciting update, Madera High School mock trial students have started competing, with 2 teams, including the prosecution team and the defensive team, along with the judge and Mrs. Moreno, the DA, complimenting them and giving them a few tips. This past Saturday, our Future Business Leaders of America competed in the Central Section Conference at Redwood High School in Visalia, pacing the top 10 with 9 of our members qualifying for the state conference in April. Madera High School hosted their Valentine's Choir concert for the public to come by and enjoy, many of them bringing their loved ones and watching along with bearing gifts. Today at lunch, the French Club celebrated Mardi Gras with music and candy. Our school has been celebrating Black History Month by spreading awareness throughout our campus and implementing the school-wide lesson through all 4th period classes. With most of our athletic teams ending their seasons, we want to congratulate our senior athletes in soccer, basketball, and wrestling for their journey on their teams, along with their dedication and hard work. ASB leadership class has participated in many events, including Christmas tree laying for the public to enjoy and our winter rally for our students, along with the Great Kindness Challenge, where the leaders help clean the campus with their amazing custodians while getting to know them, plus hosting their annual winter formal with the other students to enjoy at a Saturday night. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mendoza Soria. I invite Vanessa Martinez Lira to present the Madera South High School Student Board Representative Report.
Good evening, Board President Salazar, Superintendent Lyle, Clerk Mendoza, all board members and community members. My name is Vanessa Martinez at Madera South High School. I will be presenting information on behalf of Madera South High School. We welcomed our future stallions to Madera South with an exciting rally and sessions relating to CTE, pathways, athletics and activities, performing and visual arts, and our ag department. We are excited for our class of 2028. Congratulations to Madera South Art Jam team for their first place Best in Show victory. Led by art teacher David Willett, the Stallions did an amazing job. After a long winter break, ASB leadership was excited to put on a fun winter rally, highlighting some staff royalty, competing in fun games, and getting an inspirational speech from our very own Coach Lopez. Alasia Hall was invited by Parsec to serve on a panel at their first annual Parsec Summit to share her experience. This was part of Parsec's initiative to elevate student voice. We are so proud of Alasia. Academic finished our competition on Saturday, February 3rd. We took home 21 medals. 2 of our students were the highest scorers in the competition in essay and music, and we placed 3rd overall in the competition. Stallion students joined the hiking club to hike Point Lobos and learn about whales and erosion. This was our first big outing for the hiking club, and all the students really enjoyed getting out in the nature. Stallion students enjoyed a special edition of Big Kid Recess hosted by ASB leadership to kick off the Super Bowl weekend. Free nachos and cotton candy were provided, as well as various games, including a football toss tournament, 9-square competition, and cornhole. Even many of the staffs came out and joined in. Madera South cheer and pom team up with Madera High and Taurus, along with our middle schools, to perform a MUSD send-off performance as a fundraiser for their trip to nationals. They also celebrated their senior night. We wished our show cheer and show pom team good luck this weekend in Anaheim. Madera South will be sending 4 male wrestlers and 2 female wrestlers to the CIF Masters Wrestling Championships this weekend in Salenda Arena. The Masters will be hosted by Madera Unified at the Carina. Wrestling starts on Friday and Saturday at 9 a.m. Our girls wrestling team are co-champions in the NYL League this season. Madera South won all of their duels and tied at the tournament with Sunnyside to become co-champions. Congratulations, Stallions. Here are some of our upcoming events. Currently this week, we have Stallions Spread the Love. On February 14th, we have Black History African Drum Circle performance during lunch. February 20 through February 24, we have National FFA Week. And then February 21st, we have our 4.0 recognition night, as well with March 12th through the 15th, we have Battle of the Stallion Week. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Martinez Lera. Item number 8, student board member information and report. Since trustee Garza is absent tonight, we will proceed with trustee Duque Martinez. Trustee Duque Martinez, I invite you to share your report with the board.
Thank you. Good evening, buenas tardes, President Salazar, Superintendent Lyle, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, staff, and members of the public. I hope you all are doing well and maintaining good health. Leading into the month of February, selected members of our ASB program spent their Sunday evening welcoming and giving tours of the Taurus High campus to the Western Accrediting Commission for Schools, otherwise known as WASC. Going into the regular school week, the administrators representing the WASC organization observed a variety of school activities as well as learning environments in order to interpret their own perspective of the campus environment as a whole. Apart from independent observations, they held a meeting with student leaders as a means to gain insight from the students' point of view. This meeting consisted of questions regarding campus engagement, activities, inclusion, challenges, and it concluded with suggestions on how to improve specific campus concerns. Our participants shared their experiences, which have built a positive foundation for the clubs, sports, community events, cultural activities, and the overall appreciation towards the acknowledgement of the diverse groups on campus. Despite all of the positive feedback we have received, there are still improvements to be made in connection with academic support, advice, and communication as a whole. These comments will be taken into perspective as we move forward to improve the experience for our students. As for our WASC inspection, we were the first school to receive little to no feedback, leaving a lasting impression. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Duque Martinez. I go into item number 9, information and report superintendent board. Item number 9A, Madera County Arts Authority Downtown Revitalization Update.
President Salazar, Kirk Mendoza, I want to welcome Dr. O'Kane, who really needs no introduction in Madera Unified. Welcome home, by the way.
It's great to be here.
And it's always good to have you. Notice, I've said this many times, Dr. O'Kane, and it just happened right now. When you're in the room, the lights get brighter, and
Yeah.
they just got brighter.
Just right.
It's a true story. It's the real thing.
Paying you later. Thank you.
So thank you for being here and providing us an update, and hopefully we'll all wrap our heads around where we can go.
Great.
All right.
Thank you for allowing me to come this evening. I remember a few years ago when I was here twisting your arms to try to get a little money from you and the city and the county so that we could start this organization called the Madera County Arts Authority. And here I am tonight to give you an update on what we've done in our fair city and county in the last few years. And we're doing this because people got really involved in the planning and in our ad hoc groups and all the groups that we had going on when we were starting, but they haven't heard anything in a while because there's a lot of front end work that has to be done before you can actually build something or do something that people don't see. So we thought, well, a lot has happened and maybe we should be talking to the city and the county and the school district about what that is. So that's why we're here. Our goal on the Madera County Arts Authority is to see to it that we build a cultural arts center in the center of downtown Madera. That's our goal. I'm sure in your packet you have a chart that shows a 4-step plan for getting there, which includes trying to do things in the downtown area to increase the number of people who are coming downtown and seeing opportunities for downtown and seeing for businesses and economic growth and seeing opportunities for families to come together and be part of the community in public ways. All of that has to be done to get people on the ground, to get people interested in actually funding and preparing for that cultural arts center. The combined work of the city, the county, and the school district to date is featured in a video that we made this summer. We want you to see it tonight. And then we're hoping that you will use it as you can around the school district and the community to share with others that the work has started and that we are working hard we're working hard together to rebuild our downtown and make it an exciting place to be. Of course, the city's the centerpiece for that effort downtown. They have the main street. This is a prime opportunity, though, for the MUSD students to be involved in art projects in downtown through the after-school program, through what's happening at the library now, and then in our future cultural arts center. So I'd like to give special thanks to Joetta Fleek, who is your representative on our from the school district on the Arts Authority Board. And I'd also like to recognize Ray Seibert, who was on the Arts Authority Board when we started and helped us kick off this, this group. It's exciting to see our agencies working together. That's not always the easiest thing possible, but we are beginning to work together, and everybody is taking, I think, great pride in where we're headed in our community. Now the video. It is produced by Freddie Anderson and the videography class of Torres High School. So more acclaim to Torres High School. Thank you very much. Are we ready to roll it? Okay, Frank, let's go.
Madera is at the crossroads. Downtown Madera's better days are almost here. The city of Madera and Caltrans, the county of Madera, the Madera County Arts Council, and the Madera Unified School District are each focusing on improving and reimagining specific portions of downtown center of the heart of California. The city, the county, the school district, and the Arts Council have combined to create the Madera County Arts Authority, which, with the help of videography students at Matilda Torres High School, presents the short video about what our community will soon be. The city of Madera and Caltrans have agreed to redesign Madera's Main Street, Yosemite Avenue, from State Route 99 eastward to High Street, just east of the John Wells Center, the Army National Guard Building, and the Social Services Building. The north-south boundaries are East 4th Street down to East 6th Street. The completed project will make our downtown community more people-friendly and pedestrian walkways, trees, accessible parking, increased lighting, bicycle lanes, street furniture, and outdoor seating will make that happen. Alleyways will be improved to allow for eating outside. Murals will decorate the alley side of downtown businesses. Trees, bushes, and flowers will welcome customers. Madera County has multiple downtown projects in the works. They include revitalizing the long unused 1917 library building on Yosemite Avenue, improving the existing library, and re-envisioning Courthouse Park. Our newly designed downtown park will include safe play areas for children, permanent tables and seating for those who wish to play board games, picnic shelters, shade trees, and designated walkthroughs. Internet interactive downtown walking tours will connect to the library to inform residents and visitors of our town's past and present. The library is envisioned as a community center. Music, reading, and art. Individuals and groups are welcome. Books will be on shelves and online. The library will be a community center for teaching and learning and open to all. Madera Unified is in discussions to increase its presence in downtown Madera, and the Madera County Arts Council is working with Caltrans to apply 20 pieces of art to a new sound blocking wall on northbound State Route 99 in downtown Madera. The art will be placed in 5 groupings on 4 pieces each. It will beautify and, with the addition of plants, will deter tagging. We strive to enable seniors to bond with youngsters for the benefit of all. And as individuals learn from and laugh with each other, our entire community grows socially and economically. Madera is at a crossroads. Better days are almost here.
So there you have it. Nothing's done, but everything's ready to start. The county has plans to remodel the whole park area downtown. If you've been down there and are interested in library books, you know the librarian has already put a book walk in that county park area. She offers classes for kids and families inside the library and out in the park. The city is set to set in 2025. They'll be remodeling Yosemite Avenue and making it a 2-lane. So it's going to cozy up the downtown Main Street and make it very much more walkable and people friendly. So all of that stuff is going on. And I know that the Brandon Gillis, we're doing all kinds of mural work downtown and beginning to think about other facilities that we could use where we could have community-based education, like in the after-school program, and offer arts and performing arts like that. So, so anyway, I'm hoping that you can share that and keep spreading our vision to a better Madera. So thank you for very much for your time and your continued involvement in things that we can do for the kids of Madera to give them a well-rounded education and a future. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. O'King.
Thank you, Dr. O'King.
Okay.
Item number 982, Madera Breakfast Lions Club Scholarship Donation Fund. At this time, I invite Robert Garabay to address the board. Mr. Garabay?
Thank you for having me tonight. Superintendent Lyle, President Salazar, and yes, Mrs. Martinez. My name is Robert Garabay. I was the treasurer for the Lions Club for the last 15 years. Served 1 year as president. A good friend of mine and I, 30 years ago, came up with a nice little scheme to raise money so that the Lions Club could generate enough funds to start up scholarship funds. So initially, the students would get $500, those that were awarded the scholarship. We have now increased that to $1,000 per student. 3 students from Madera High, 3 students from Madera South High School, and 3 students from Torres High School. Our motto for Lions throughout the world is we serve. We serve our communities. We serve those that are in need of being outside and getting some fresh air. One of our favorites was always a pheasant hunt for the handicapped. So we would go out past Chowchilla and we would have a great time. We would cook for those that were involved in the hunt. Great time. Madera Breakfast Lions has been operating for 52 years. We recently, as of June 30th of 2023, voted to dissolve the organization. At one time, we had over 35 members. With promotions, people moving in and out of town. And finally, a number of our members, elderly, had passed away. We were down to 5 members in the club that were active. So we voted to disband. The things that we would do for fundraising would just kill the program because five guys just could not manage. I have 4 checks here totaling $101,976.36 that will go into a Breakfast Lions Memorial Scholarship Fund. And I know that the people that take care of the money, distribute it to the students, will do a fantastic job. So, Mr. Superintendent.
Thank you so much. So, Mr. Garabay, if just for one moment, I think it would be remiss of all of us because, we do have literally 5 or 6 viewers out there online. No, the multitudes out there might not realize that you were a trustee for this school district and served selflessly for Fill in the blank for us.
25.
25 years.
Yes.
So your service to Madera,
Thank you.
I think your service to Madera is something that we want to honor and that we make sure that we understand the full magnitude of this donation. And we want to make sure that we're thoughtful about the way that these scholarships are delivered. And if I'm not mistaken, there was an education component to these potential scholarships that were always that were always the strongest consideration for the Breakfast Lions Scholarship Committee. Could you elaborate on that just a little bit for us so we have that in the public record tonight?
We had a schedule of things that we were looking for in scholarship winners. One of them was a 4.0 grade point average, involvement in school activities, if they were out working, number of hours that they would put in, family income, activities that, they may have been
Community
involved
service.
in.
Community service was,
Yeah, so the requirements for them to get a scholarship from the Breakfast Lions is pretty tough. But the kids that came in for interviews were tremendous. They were willing to go the extra mile, and they just absolutely worked diligently to get a scholarship from us.
well, and on top of that, I mean, all your years of service to the district, you also have a daughter that's a dedicated teacher and was one of the finest teachers at Madera South while she served our community before she moved on to serve another community.
Thank you.
So I think it's pretty clear that, with Breakfast Lions' reputation of support for the district and yours in particular and your families, that these scholarships might be best served for people that intend to go into some sort of career in education. Would that not be
Absolutely.
accurate?
Absolutely.
I just wanted to make sure that we had that in the public record tonight as we work through the qualifications that you laid out and the future orientation for the students who apply for these scholarships, that we're taking the generosity and the good work of the Breakfast Lions, reinvesting it into students who we intend to reinvest back in our own kids and community.
Great.
I hope I got that right.
You did. You did.
Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for this generous donation to the future of our students in the community. It's a massive gift of generosity, and I know it was really hard earned. So thank you.
52 years.
52 years.
But we enjoyed it all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garabay. At this time, I invite the presidents of the unions to address the board. Mr. Holder?
Thank you, Board President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, board members, Superintendent Lyle. Just a quick reminder that March 5th is the Fresno Madera State Service Center School Board Dinner, and I know that the announcements have been out. Mrs. Martinez has set it out. This is just a quick reminder. RSVP is by February 29th, and this is just a hard copy for you all, just as a reminder. And before I sit down, Mr. Garabay, I just wanted to say it was an honor to have known you and your daughter Laura at South, and appreciated everything you did as a school board member. And again, as your daughter as a teacher, thank you and thank her. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Holder. Any other union presidents? None? Okay, down to item number 10, superintendent time. Superintendent,
President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board and general public out there. I want to thank our high school activities directors and administrators for outstanding previews for our incoming freshmen. There's a real enthusiasm for our students as they matriculate. That hasn't always been the case, but it is today because of vision and leadership at our school sites. I'm hearing a lot from families that the students went back home and they're really excited to become a stallion or a coyote or a toro. So thanks to all three comprehensive high schools for their hard work. The last Madera High School Student Voice meeting was held on January 25th and was well attended by students. Students shared a number of perceived strengths at Madera High School, like staff relationship building, quality safety officers, dedicated custodial staff, memorable rallies and student activities, after-school program, the new tutoring services, responsive relationships with site leaders, and specifically cited was Principal Cosgrove for her connection to the student body. They had new ideas too, such as adding cash back to school athletic competition, so it's not all electronic, real physical ID cards, expanded Coyote Den, a guidance for teachers around the amounts of homework. We all like the sound of that as kids, and various lunchtime suggestions around more time and more points of sale. Our student trustees did a wonderful job organizing and facilitating that meeting. The California Collaborative for Educational Excellence is hosting a Madera Open Door session on March 5th from 3 to 4 p.m. This is a virtual opportunity for administrators from from administrators and teacher leaders from Nishimoto, Sierra Vista, and Washington to describe the journey the staff has been on into the high-intensity collaboration in the professional learning community structure. The CCEE feels that MUSD's three schools are leading the way on rapid improvement. Our three schools are being shared as positive case studies for the entire state of California. Despite very unique circumstances, each school is engaging in the collaborative process for significant growth in student outcomes. Our teacher leaders have been a decisively important element, and we should continue to invest in high-quality teacher leadership to work with our high-quality site leaders. The Art Jam District Art Competition was held on January 31st of 2024. The first ever competition was a huge success. The creative combination of Director Gillis and Events Coordinator Delgado have created a Top Chef style challenge for school artists. I haven't seen something so original in years, and seeing our artists feel so valuable was exactly what we want to validate their talent. So thank you for organizing that with our teachers and for the trustees for coming out and supporting. I, along with several trustees and district staff members, attended Parsec's Measure What We Value Summit the week before last. Thanks to district staff for presenting our academic turnaround stories and also our graduate profile work. Much of this work isn't being done around the Central Valley, so it was good to be a beacon. I had the pleasure of presenting awards at the Academic Decathlon, not this weekend, but the previous weekend. Congratulations to the Coyotes for winning the prestigious Super Quiz. I think that's the first time they'd won since 1991. The Coyotes finished in second place for an impressive showing, second place overall for an impressive showing this year. Hot on their heels were the Stallions, who finished third. And we were highly competitive and captured an amazing number of individual awards. We were very, very proud. The kids walked out of there all clinking like Mr. T. They had so much jewelry on. Torres High School recently went through its WASC accreditation visit, and the visiting committee was very impressed. I don't want to jinx it by saying everything they said. However, Ms. Rodriguez and her administration, the support staff, the teacher leaders, and the student leaders did an outstanding job of representing their very intentional leadership of a proud Toro school culture. We feel confident of a six-year accreditation, and we'll celebrate when we receive word. So congratulations, Toros. The LCAP meeting that was facilitated by Associate Superintendent Sissel last week at Madera County Superintendent Schools was well attended and very well led. Great feedback was received from a variety of district, site, and labor leaders to be distilled into LCAP goals and actions. We are working to align our strategic initiatives with our mandatory plans to ensure that MUSD is a coherent and structured learning organization. So stay tuned for more feedback from other stakeholders. This will be a very well-constructed LCAP. And lastly, I delivered a presentation to the Seroptimists of Madera and was able to highlight the changes we've made in teachers' experiences with additional planning time, improved teacher leadership, collaborative site-based action plans, a wide array of deployable instructional, cultural, and behavioral supports, and quality teacher mentoring. The improved conditions matter and help us recruit and retain so many exceptional teachers. Thanks to the Seroptimists for their longstanding support and commitment to Madera's students, sharing with them all this work that our board has promoted and protected was a pleasure. That group really gets it. And so hopefully we'll have a chance to go back and share more. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Item number 11, consent agenda. Mrs. Martinez.
Items listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and are acted on by the Board of Trustees in one motion. There is no discussion of these items prior to the board vote unless a member of the board or staff requests specific items be considered and discussed separately and/or removed from the consent agenda prior to the adoption of the agenda. It is understood that the administration recommends approval on all consent items. Each item on the consent agenda approved by the Board of Trustees shall be deemed to have been considered in full and adopted as recommended.
I now open the consent agenda for public comments. Mrs. Martinez.
If you wish to address the board on an item included in the consent agenda, please step up to the podium and state your name and city of residence. If you are joining remotely and would like to make a public comment, click on the reactions icon located at the bottom of your screen. In the reactions window, click on the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. Speakers will be allowed to address the board in the order they approach the podium or appear on our screen. President Salazar, we do not have any participants who wish to address the board at this time.
Thank you, Mrs. Martinez. Seeing no one come forward, I close public comment. I now entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. State your name and making the motion and when you second the motion. Trustees.
Trustee Seibert, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Trustee Fleek, all second.
Thank you. It has been moved by trustee Seibert and second by trustee Fleek to approve the consent agenda. There is one resolution in the consent agenda. Ms. Martinez, please pull the board for the record.
Trustee Duque Martinez.
Yes.
Trustee Garza. Absent. Trustee Ahmad.
Yes.
Trustee Cortez.
Yes.
Trustee Dybert.
Yes.
Trustee Fleek.
Yes.
Trustee Seibert.
Yes.
Clerk Mendoza.
Yes.
President Salazar. President Salazar, I counted 8 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and 1 absent. One of the votes is preferential.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. At this time, I would like to take the opportunity to thank and acknowledge the following retirees for their service and not only to Madera Unified, but also for their service and commitment to Madera community. David Dawson, teacher at MLK, will retire on June 28, 2024, after 31 years of service. Peter Wattenberger, teacher at Nishimoto, will retire on June 6, 2024, after 32 years of service. What they want to be? Did you want to be recognized?
Yes.
Somebody didn't. Anyway, no? Yes,
Yes.
go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. Tomas Chagoya, principal of Alpha, will retire on June 14, 2024, after 36 years of service. Brenda Lecordario, school nurse at Madison, will retire on June 7, 2024, after 18 years of service. Mark Phelps, teacher of Alpha, will retire on June 6, 2024, after 23 years of service. Mary Pietrowski, teacher at Madera South, Madera South High School, will retire on June 30th after 18 years of service. Christine O'Bird, teacher at Torres High School, will retire on June 6, 2024, after 8 years of service. Todd McAlworth, teacher at Madera South High School, will retire on June 6, 2024, after 17 years of service. Donnie Starr, paraprofessional aide at Brewinda, will retire on June 6, 2024, after 15 years of service. And Diana Brack, teacher at Alpha Elementary, will retire on June 6, 2024, after 32 years of service. Combined, there's 292 years of service from these different teachers and staff, and I thank them for their commitment to Madera Unified School District and the community and to our students. Oh, one more missing. Rosemary, I missed one, sorry, I apologize. Rosemary Banda, teacher at Alpha Elementary, retire on June 2nd, 2024, after 27 years of service. Thank you, teachers, staff, for all your commitment and dedication to our students, Madera Unified, and our community. Superintendent Lyle, do you have any administrative announcements? Announcements?
I do have three. Unfortunately, two of them are not with us this evening, but our first is the Director of Curriculum and Instruction and Assessment for Secondary. We were recently able to recruit and retain a very high quality professional in Ms. Tina Teneinhaus. She's done a really nice job of working with the staff at MLK, and I think she's found a pretty happy home there. But the opportunity to get back into the world of curriculum that she served in Clovis Unified became available this year, and I just think she couldn't pass it up. And I'm quite convinced after having met with her that Ms. Sissel is right. She's going to be a phenomenal curriculum and instruction and assessment director for secondary. She not only knows curriculum, but she knows secondary. And boy, that will be a huge benefit to the students and the staff here in Madera Unified. So I'd like to welcome Ms. Tina Teneinhaus as our Director of Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment. We hope she's out there listening, and we hope that she knows how proud and excited we are for her leadership in that new role. I'd also like to thank, and we'll do this a little bit more professionally at another time, but I'd also like to thank Mr. Jesse Carrasco for his many years of leadership in Madera Unified and all the battles that he's fought and all the support that he's provided to our students and our staff. Mr. Carrasco will be transitioning into the role of principal on special assignment to work with Ms. Sissel on a really important project around the new LCAP template and making this the kind of document that the board really cares about. He's going to be able to take his analytical skills to a really important aspect of the district and provide us some really excellent service and leadership where we really need it. I'd also like to finally thank a principal of a brand new school. Now, this is a little bit on the unique side, but many of our board members will recall that in the last several years, when we've opened a new school, which had not been necessarily something Madera Unified was known for decades, we couldn't open a new one. But recently we've been able to do that. We've had the opportunity to name the principal a year in advance. That's a really outstanding luxury that we're able to provide our principal so that they can start developing the basis for a school culture that we know will be successful, start building systems, policies, practices, recruit staff members. And to do that, we just really needed to find someone who not only was a principal, but was somebody that exemplified the balance between collaboration and competition. Somebody who, in the face of adversity and struggle, knows how to persevere. Nothing stops her. And somebody who also knows how to inspire others, not just because she's willing to work through the challenges, but because she's willing to coach and to promote and to persuade and to inspire others to work through those challenges too. So as we open a brand new school in a brand new direction with King Hussein, a K-8 that the public may not realize will serve somewhere near 1,000 students at full build out on a site that's purpose built. That's probably the most modern and unique school in the history of Madera County, along with MadTech. Those will be the two schools that really sort of hold this place of uniqueness in the entire county. We just couldn't find someone better than Ms. Christina Richer, the new principal. So Ms. Richer, if you would.
Good evening, President Salazar, Trustee Mendoza, trustees, and Superintendent Lyle. I stand before you today with a great deal of gratitude and excitement as we embark on this journey to open the new King Hussein Elementary School. This opportunity is a milestone for our community, and I am truly honored to be a part of it. I would like to express my deepest appreciation to my Pershing family, who I will miss greatly next year. Nicole Lack, our vice principal, has been an amazing teammate and friend. She is truly an asset to our school and our district. The teachers and the students and staff are some of the hardest working individuals I've ever had the pleasure of working alongside. Their desire for excellence is evident in everything they do. Thank you also to Mrs. Gassett and our Red Pyramid family for your ongoing support. I would also like to take a moment to express my thanks to my family who's in the audience, Ruben and Twyla Coronado, my parents, They instilled in me from a young age the belief that education is a precious gift, and their support has been a driving force behind my passion for learning and teaching. My children, who are also here tonight, remind me of the importance of approaching each challenge with an open mind and a willingness to learn. And last but certainly not least, I want to acknowledge my husband, Tim, for his support. His dedication to the city and its students has always been an inspiration. In an article I read regarding the land donation of the new school, Mr. Hussein stated, "There are many great causes you can donate to, but to me, when you educate an individual, you are educating generations." I am confident that King Hussein Elementary School will be a place of opportunity for generations to come. This new school will be committed to the values of excellence, inclusivity, and lifelong learning. Thank you once again for this incredible opportunity.
So President Salazar, I'm not really sure if she said last and not least, or last and least, my husband, Tim. I couldn't recall. I'm sure that got lost somewhere in translation. We'll have to roll back the tape. Congratulations, Ms. Rache. And let's make sure that people out there who don't know, you're a Madera kid. This is your hometown and you've poured your career back into it. And I think that's something that we shouldn't look. That's not always going to be the case, and we don't always need it to be the case either, right? We have some outstanding people who make their careers here, and we hope they find a second home. And where they live, that's fine, but where they work, we want them to be here. But it also is impressive, and I think it's a message to our community and to our neighborhoods that, you know, Madera kids want to come back and they want to give back and they want to lead. And it's not easy. We've discussed with our board how hard it is to be a principal, how hard it is to be a teacher leader these days. It's not getting easier. So thank you for being willing to serve our community, your community, in the neighborhood where you live, right? I mean, it's that much cooler all the way around. But who's counting? Right? Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ms. Rache.
Oh, no.
She already has the job. She already has the job. It's okay.
It'll be on sale on a website, $45. Linkage Foundation fundraiser.
Where's security when you need it?
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Now on to item 12, new business. Item number 12A, administrative and support services. Item number 12A1, adopt resolution number 31-2023 and 24, District 2024 refunding certificate of participation. Superintendent Lyle?
President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, we have Deputy Superintendent Schwartz here for this item.
So good evening, President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, trustees. Please permit me to kind of go through what I went through during our previous meeting with the Board of Directors of the Financing Corp, just so the public and we can get it into the record of what we're doing here tonight. This evening, the MUSD Board of Trustees will be asked to approve moving forward with the refinancing or refunding of the 2018 COPs sold to complete the construction of Torres High School. These COPs were sold to provide the capital necessary to complete the construction of the campus. The original issuance in 2018 included a call feature allowing the district to pay off the issuance early. Normally, a municipal bond cannot be called for 10 years. Staff has provided a plan or had provided a plan to pay off the COP within 3 years with a combination of building funds set aside and the match from the state. Ultimately, the board made the decision to not pay off the COPs and use the building fund set aside and state match to complete additional needed capital projects that the district had. The district currently has the opportunity to refund the COPs and ultimately lower debt service. Anytime we can save the district money, we're going to bring that opportunity to the board. Since market rates fluctuate daily and the bond market has had some significant swings in the last few years, it's impossible at this exact moment to give a savings amount at this time. However, when the scenario was run in December, it showed that the true interest cost to the district at that time would have been around 3.95%. The original issuance has a true interest cost of 4.58%. This would result in a savings of over $18 million to the district over the life of the COPs, with a final bond maturity being moved up from 2048 to 2045. And that 2045 maturity was less than half of what it would have been otherwise. Bond yields have moved up slightly over the last month. When the savings scenario was run just a few weeks ago, it showed a potential savings of $16.5 million now over the life of the COPs. Based on preliminary data presented by ISOM advisors and the underwriter Stifel, the potential refunding is estimated to generate anywhere between $4 million to $18 million in total savings for the district. And as a quick overview of what a COP is and the components of it, certificates of participation, or COPs, can be utilized by California school and community college districts as an alternative financing option to general obligation bonds. COP proceeds can be used to construct or acquire real property. COPs do not require voter approval, but do require the approval of the County Office of Education as the district is taking on debt. When issuing COPs, outside investors are buying bonds that are backed by future lease payments. In order to structure lease payments, the district assigns the rights of a facility or site, or multiple sites in this case, to a nonprofit organization. In our case, the nonprofit is the Madera Unified School District Financing Corporation, and that corporation consists of the board members and sitting superintendent. The MUSD Financing Corporation will return the facility and site to the district once the COPs are completely repaid by the district. So in order to repay the COPs, the district makes annual lease payments to the nonprofit organization, which is the MUSD Financing Corporation, who then uses these lease payments to repay the investors who have purchased the COPs, which are essentially tax-free bonds. This is done through a trust created between the MUSD Financing Corporation and a financial institution who receives payments from the districts and disperses them to bondholders. The refunding process requires approval from both the MUSD Board of Trustees and the Madera Unified School District Financing Corporation, which happened earlier this evening. To complete the refunding, the following documents must be executed. You will be approving a resolution, or being asked to approve a resolution this evening, approving the refunding, as well as approving the documents that would be used in that process, which includes site lease agreements, assignment agreements, trust agreements, preliminary official statements, escrow deposits and trust agreement, and a termination agreement. District staff will continue to work with our financial advisor, ISOM Advisors, and the underwriter Stifel to monitor the bond market yields and move accordingly. And just quick summary again, summary data. Our current true interest cost on our COPs is 4.58%. Potential interest costs, it's been in the last couple of months, probably looking at between 3.95 and 4.15. Potential savings, we used anywhere between 4 and 8, but in the past couple of months, it was between 16 and 18 million in savings. And essentially the final maturity would be in 2044. There would be a smaller payment in 2045. So shortening up the years of payments on these bonds. So this evening, you're being asked to approve the resolution, which authorizes the district to sell and issue its 2024 refunding certificates of participation for the purpose of refinancing the district's 2018 certificates of participation. And this resolution also approves the supporting forms necessary to complete the process. Also online with us this evening in Zoom land is Janice Peters from ISOM Advisors to help answer any technical questions the board has this evening.
Thank you. I now open this up for public comment. Mrs. Martinez?
If you wish to address the board regarding this item, please step up to the podium and state your name and city of residence. If you are joining remotely and would like to make a public comment, click on the reactions icon located at the bottom of your screen. In the reactions window, click on the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. Speakers will be allowed to address the board in the order they appear on our screen. President Salazar, we do not have any participants who wish to address the board at this time.
Thank you, Mrs. Martinez. Seeing none come forward, I close public comment. Trustees, do you have any questions for staff? Trustee Dybert?
I don't, thank you.
Trustee Cortez?
No.
Trustee Ahmad?
No.
Trustee Fleek?
None, thank you.
Trustee Seibert?
No.
Clerk Mendoza?
No.
I had a couple of questions that you noted that, and then I'll follow up. We'll follow up with them. Thank you very much. I now entertain a motion and second to approve item 12A1. Please state your name when you make the motion and second the motion.
Trustee Dybert, I move to adopt resolution number 31-2324, districts 2024 refunding certificates of participation.
Thank you. Do I have a second, trustees?
Trustee Cortez, I second.
Thank you. It has been moved by trustee Dybert and second by trustee Cortez to adopt item number 12A. Mrs. Martinez, please pull the board.
Trustee Duque Martinez? She just left. Trustee Garza? Absent. Trustee Ahmad?
Yes.
Trustee Cortez?
Yes.
Trustee Dybert?
Yes.
Trustee Fleek?
Yes.
Trustee Seibert?
Yes.
Clerk Mendoza?
Yes.
President Salazar?
Yes.
President Salazar, I count as 7 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and 2 absent. 2 of the votes are preferential if they were here.
Thank you, Mrs. Martinez. Item number 12A2, approve contract with Darden Architects. Superintendent Lyle.
So we might have different music, but we got the same dancer. Mr. Schwartz, you're on.
Unfortunately, I don't dance very well, so. All right, so this evening, the item before you is to approve bringing on Darden Architects to do a project at our central kitchen. And let me give you a little background on the funding and kind of what we're doing with it, and then I'll bring up Director Chirito to give you some specifics on this exact project, what he's planning on doing there, and the intended purpose, the what and the why. So on June 30th of 2022, the governor signed Assembly Bill 181 into law. This law appropriated $600 million from the state of California's general fund to the California Department of Education to fund kitchen infrastructure upgrades and food service staff training. These were known as KIT funds. Kitchen infrastructure upgrades are intended to increase the school's capacity to prepare meals served through a federal school meal program, including for meals freshly prepared on site, to serve fresh and nutritious school meals using minimally processed products, locally grown and sustainable food, and to expand meal options to pupils with restricted diets. Food service staff training provided through these funds will focus on expanding meal offerings and promoting nutritious foods. These funds must be expended by June 30th of 2025. So Madera Unified School District, of that $600 million appropriation, received approximately a little under $2.7 million. So the department, as you are well aware because they've been coming before the board, has been using these funds to provide additional equipment and infrastructure necessary at our middle schools and elementary school sites. Things like rationale combi ovens, exhaust hoods, and coolers are necessary to do the type of work that our child nutrition department is moving towards. These require electrical and plumbing upgrades at our school sites, and you approved earlier on consent agenda tonight, moving forward with some of those plumbing upgrades. This is the reason that you are seeing more and more capital projects being brought forward by child nutrition. So this project is kind of a culmination of those projects and would expend the remaining amount of our KIT funds. So I'm going to before I steal kind of what he's going to talk about, I'd like to introduce Director Brian Chirito to talk about this particular project.
Good evening, President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, trustees, and Superintendent Lyle. When KIT funds first came out, it was actually something that we talked with our colleagues and really across the state to say, what are you going to do? What are we going to do to make this happen? And one of our biggest goals in our district has been scalability. We don't want to just make something that's, outside the box type of school or lunch at school and not be able to scale it. And many school districts do, more raw, scratch, fresh cooked meals at the high school level. And then it kind of focuses a little bit down into the middle school level. And it's obviously harder logistically to get that done at elementary. So that's something we've strived for in my 9 years here, is to how do we scale that at the elementary level? And this KIT funds is going to help us expand that, because we've been fortunate enough to follow the vision of what we've had when we built Rose Elementary. And something that we like to brag about and tell other districts about, when we built Rose Elementary, we put 2 Rationale combi ovens in that kitchen. There's no warmers in there. So we cook food just in time to serve just in time to our students, so that we don't cook food and put it in warmers. That's one of the goals that we had at the elementary level. And not many people can say that. And when I tell colleagues across the state that we do that, they don't believe us many times. So with that being said, we already had great infrastructure at Rose. Obviously was a brand new school that we built out. Easton, Lavina, they had the infrastructure there, so we could already get those schools running on we call it our Go Fresh menu. The plumbing infrastructure that we got approved in consent agenda, the next 4 schools on the docket are Pershing, Nish, Chavez, Parkwood. Because when those were built, they were built with hoods. They were built with gas, water, but there's no floor sinks in the ground. So for the Rationales to work the way they're supposed to work, you need that, along with some troughs and some additional kitchen infrastructure to make that all go. So whenever we build new kitchens, like we did at Torres, like we're doing at King Hussein, we make sure all that kind of stuff is in there. And what this kitchen's going to do at Central Kitchen is be able to help us expand, not just to those schools that I just mentioned, but to the schools that we don't have the infrastructure to even get it further down the road, the Adams, the Monroes, the things like that. So we're going to have some hybrid approach of how do we create a scratch or Go Fresh menu and get it to those kids and those schools with in the short term, until we figure out a long-term plan, if ever, to get those 8 schools out of our 18, the infrastructure to make it work. Because beyond the 4 schools I just mentioned, that would bring us to 7. So our goal is, we're hoping, and I think I don't think it's a stretch, but it will take some work to get it done by the start of school, to have those 4 schools online and ready to go with a Go Fresh menu. The school year after this one, in August of 25, we're hoping to have Alpha and Berenda on board as well. They have some good infrastructure with a hood and some other things. So we may have some infrastructure funds remaining that we can bring back to the board to get approval to work towards getting the plumbing infrastructure for those 2 schools as well. The 10th school out of the 18 that we has some good infrastructure and bones, we'll call it, at the kitchen, is Howard. But that may take some additional work along with the district at that time, unless the state provides more kitchen infrastructure funds. We'll have to work with the district to figure out, to make that build out a little, to work. They still have a galvanized hood in there. It's not stainless steel. So that would need to be an upgrade. It would be a DSA project, but that's like two or 3 years down the road to try to get Howard on board. So with that said, in a 2-year window, we may have 10 of our 18 elementary schools on some sort of Go Fresh menu item or Go Fresh menu. And then if we build this the Central Kitchen out, it will help expand that fresh baked muffins, whether we cook, proteins overnight, fresh eggs, egg patties and breakfast sandwiches and things like that to be sent out in components, freshly made within a couple days, sent out to those other schools to make it, the menu somewhat match and look like others. So if you have any questions, we can entertain
Trustees, do you
those.
have any questions? Trustee Seibert?
About Ripperton, I mean, there used to be a functioning kitchen there. We serve a lot of meals and we don't have near as many students that we used to have at Ripperton.
So Ripperton, actually, we are upgrading. I've worked with M&O to provide some additional electrical outlets. We are going to provide some new, it's called an RO 151, a new type of oven that can work without a hood. And one thing we have done at Ripperton is on Wednesdays, we actually created a burrito bar like the high schools have. So the students have loved that every Wednesday. That's something they look forward to. And then we're going to try to expand that in the coming weeks or so to Mount Vista and provide that one day a week to those students as well. It's a little bit more of a challenge, but we're working through those logistics to figure out Ripperton and Mount Vista, at least to one day a week, provide them the burrito bar like the other high schools get.
So Ripperton, the kitchen there, have they gutted it in the past or is it still?
I don't recall what it was in the past or how long ago that was, but there's not much infrastructure there currently. We're going to put in a new 3-compartment sink and a new RO 151 oven that doesn't require a hood and a 2-door refrigerator and 2-door freezer to try to give it some extra feel like an elementary school setting, but to provide additional meals like to enhance that menu at that site. They don't even have a retherm. They currently don't. We take the food out every day and don't cook it there, but we want to start cooking that on site.
All right, thank you.
Trustees, do you have any other questions?
I do. Director Chirito, so I see that you're going to take the conference room, the one that is at the corner where we used to have the meetings, right? So that's going to be the production kitchen. So how is this, and I see the other items that we approved in consent agenda. So how is this going to, how is a typical breakfast or a lunch in an elementary school going to look like? What's the difference between what the kids receive now and what will they receive?
So currently, many of the items at elementary, whether it's breakfast or lunch, part of the kit, well, let me go back. Part of the kit funds was we had to attest to serve 50% of our meals to be some sort of scratch or speed scratch based off of the 2-step definition that the state provided. We were fortunate enough that at elementary, we offer a turkey sandwich as a secondary item during lunch, along with the hot item. And the way that becomes a scratch or speed scratch item is because we cook all of our own turkey roasts from raw. We don't buy processed deli meat. We cook them at the central kitchen. Currently it's a unit called an Irinox. It doesn't require a hood. It's also a blast chiller. So we literally put turkeys in at night. They cook overnight. It has a HACCP program built in. And when we come in the morning, they're cooled down to the proper temperature, like 34, 35 degrees. We take them out, slice them fresh, and send them on their way each day to our school sites. So our kids are eating freshly cooked, raw. Well, I mean, it starts out raw,
right?
Turkey sandwiches, and that helped let us attest to receiving more of this kitchen infrastructure funds. One thing we do now that the kitchen will help us do is we only have a small capacity to make our fresh baked muffins. And we can't get them to all of our schools. The schools that have rationales, the high school, middle schools, and the 3 elementaries that I mentioned currently, they make their own with the batter that we provide. What we do now is we only can make about 3 or 4 other sites, so we can't get to everyone. And when I talk with Sandon and Superintendent Lyle throughout the weeks and months, we always try to say, how are we going to scale it? How are we going to get it to everybody so that our menus look and sound and feel the same. So we do that. We do that with the muffins, but we can't get to everybody. Currently, we make our own fresh egg patties. We crack our own eggs. We have a machine that we literally dump eggs into the machine, and the shells go this way and the fresh eggs, the fresh liquid eggs go that way. We don't buy frozen egg patties. We make them ourselves. So we do have currently on every elementary menu, a breakfast sandwich, freshly done. I mean, we make that, we freeze it, and then within a week or two, we ship it out. But we have to literally make those every day to get caught up every 2 weeks for that to be in the menu. So it's not efficient production of doing food. In the new kitchen, we would be able to do that in like 4 hours. Same with the muffins.
See, so is your goal eventually that every school will be able to cook their meals for their students at their own kitchen, or is it?
So it's going to be a hybrid. When we get to, we have 18 elementaries. When we get those 10 schools on board to be there, we call them a Go Fresh kitchen. Rose, Pershing, Chavez, those 7 that I mentioned, and then the 3 additional ones, they will cook their own. The central kitchen will provide that us the opportunity to take that same menu item and shift it out to the other 8 schools. That's the goal. So one thing we just did, really, I mean, I've been here 9 years, but it was probably the first time in 20 years of last week or the week before.
Might be longer.
Yeah, probably 20 plus. I was being conservative. We served from one of our manufacturers a teriyaki chicken with fried rice, and our staff scooped it. It wasn't prepared or put in a tray wrapped in plastic at the production kitchen like it used to be prior to COVID. After COVID, we kind of shut that down and said, this is the time to make the shift. So doing that, scooping the rice, scooping the chicken, putting it in a black bowl like the kids would see at Panda, that's the piece that is the additional piece of marketing the food to kids, the visual aspect of it. And the kids went crazy. They thought they were having Panda. There were kids running through the hallways saying we had Panda for lunch, but it looked that way.
And that's something that I think it's something that is appealing, that is home cooked. And I was with the district for many years. I worked at Alpha School. My son went there. He got a little chubby because he was the 6th grader, wanted to clean the cafeteria because he wanted to go for, the extra. But they used to make sloppy joes. They used to make for Thanksgiving, like, the turkey. I mean, and the kids ate all their food. And it also taught him manners, to use their fork. And then if they needed to cut, he had a plastic knife. So I think along with, feeding them nutritious meals, is also serving them on a tray rather than a package. It promotes the good table manners, or at least, they know how to use a fork and a knife, because everything is fast food these days. So yeah, good. That's what I wanted to see and hear. So I'll be visiting in the future some of those.
Thank you, Trustee Dybert. Trustee Cortez, you had a question?
Yes, I just wanted you to kind of explain what you mentioned an oven at some of our newer schools. I didn't quite get that name, and what's so special about it?
So it's a combi oven, which is it's not just, so a regular oven just blows hot air with a fan, and you can't really control exactly what it does. So the units we buy, there's multiple brands of combi units or combi ovens. We have chosen to use the Rationale combi oven system. And what that is you can steam all in one unit. You can steam things, you can grill things, you can bake and proof, you can cook overnight. It's all electronic. They're all hooked to a network. Like I could take my phone out if we wanted, and I can turn one on right now. Or if there was something cooking in it overnight, whether it's a pork shoulder or something of that nature, it monitors the HACCP program that we can then pull and put it into a database so that we know that everything was correct in the cooking process along the way. What it does is it actually speeds up the process. And in the normal ovens, right, if anyone that's been around the kitchens, if you would bake, right, someone in a kitchen would know, hey, that there's a hot spot in the back left corner. So you got to halfway through, take the muffins out and turn them so that back corner doesn't get burnt. This thing doesn't do that. What it does is You could actually put one filet mignon in there and find the right temperature, the right setting, the coloring, everything you want. Figure that out correct, make the setting in the system in the computer. And then you never have to do anything again, whether you're cooking one or whether you're cooking 50. So you can load the oven up with 50 of them, hit the same button, and the computer does all the work for you. It washes itself. It tells you when it's dirty. The staff put soap inside. They clean it when they go. So the staff's not cleaning ovens. It lets them do other work during the workday, and they clean the ovens when they walk out the door. When they come back in, they wipe the seals a little bit and make sure it's ready to go. And it's again, one of our biggest things is we try to find partners in what we do. We try to be creative and make as much as we can, but we're not going to make everything, especially in today's day and age, just many factors. So we try to partner with whether they're local or California-based companies to do things that give us a high quality product. Like, is it Thursday? We used to serve a meatball sandwich. It used to be like 5 little meatballs in a black small container wrapped in plastic, bread served on the side. The same sandwich bun we'd always used. We upgraded. We've worked with a local company, me and assistant director, Brian Miller. We're fortunate enough to have been in the food business for 30 plus years each in this community, Madera, Fresno, the Central Valley. So we know a lot of people. And we know a lot of people in the manufacturing realm. So we actually created a meatball. We didn't want small little ones like most schools have. So we created 2-ounce meatball. The kids will get 2 of them each. And it's to our spec. We tasted it. We said, no, add more garlic, do this, do that. Our vendor did it for us. Now we have our own spec from that vendor that makes us, whether raw meatballs for our Go Fresh sites to cook fresh in the oven, or for the sites currently that can't do that, we'll have cooked ones that we need to reheat. But we're going to have a meatball sandwich with a amazing marinara sauce made from another local vendor, served on a ciabatta roll on Thursday from Max's Artisan Bakery, which is Max's Bread. It's out of Fresno. They're a high-end artisan bread company. So, right, we're trying to elevate it. And we elevated that with 3 different quality vendors that provide us what we want and how we want. And they're happy to do what we ask them. And at the end, we have a better result.
And also, is it dual rationale ovens? Is that, or what was the term?
It's just Rationale's the brand.
Okay.
And it's a Rationale combi oven.
Combi, okay, combi,
Yep.
that's right. And Go Fresh sites are sites that have these combi rationale ovens. And what's preventing us from installing these ovens at the other sites is a infrastructure issue,
Correct.
Am I getting that right?
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, trustee Cortez. And trustees, any other questions?
Yes. We have we talked about a problem with Madison. That we got a small cafeteria. Try to get all kids in there and we make it a K-8. Well, in Ripperton years ago, we never ate in the cafeteria. You had carts, about 3 foot wide and maybe 7, 8 feet long. And they would bring the food to the classroom. And we'd get served in the classroom. We had like fiberglass trays. We'd walk through and they'd load our trays. We'd eat, we'd get done. They'd pick up the trays. So, I don't know if that's gonna be an option, maybe at Madison or not, but we had good food and it was hot. And what they'd do is they'd have, I think, 8th graders get to take turns serving, every day. But that's, if we have a problem at Madison where you can't serve everybody because the cafeteria is too small, that might be an option. Maybe at the lower grade levels, you take the food around to the classroom.
Yes, trustee Seibert, with the addition of the new building at Madison, part of that new building to accommodate the 7th and 8th graders, it will have basically Madison's going to have a second kitchen on campus. And I believe Deputy Superintendent Schwartz can clarify that the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders will be served out of that kitchen and eat outside in a covered area. And then the K-5 students will continue to eat in the main cafeteria and served out of that kitchen. So we're gonna have a hybrid on that campus. The new kitchen's gonna have rationales in it, right? If we're gonna build it, let's build it right. It's gonna have everything we need. Of course, it's gonna be a little bit smaller, but we're gonna make it work. So the sixth, seventh, and eighth graders are gonna have something like their other middle school colleagues somewhat. We haven't, defined exactly how we're gonna do that yet, but it's basically gonna have two kitchens on that campus.
Trustees, any other questions? I just had a question. Can you explain for the record, what is Darden actually gonna, what the architect actually gonna do?
What are they gonna do?
Yeah.
So they
Because
have to
that's
des-
what this topic's about. What are Darden actually approved to do? I
So
know
they
they're
will be
doing it-
approved to, take care of all the layout, the electrical infrastructure, the, plumbing.
At the central kitchen.
At the central kitchen in that specific area where we're gonna build out the production kitchen.
So you could be able to produce more food to send out to the different.
Yeah, because they
sites.
have to get the plans and everything ready. It's not a DSA project, but they got to send it to the city and the health department, things like that. They'll help us get all that together. We'll put it out to bid. Once it's out to bid, we'll award it and then we'll start construction and, we would love to get it rolling. Obviously, there's some deadlines. I don't know the exact, I know it's June of 2025. I don't know if that has to be encumbered or spent. So we're going to fine tooth, figure those details out to make sure that we expend those kitchen infrastructure funds because the state's already saying, hey, 30 days after June 2025, we're sending you the invoice. So you can repay us if you don't have it all
You
spent.
use it, you lose it.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay, and now open this comment, public comment, Mrs. Martinez.
If you wish to address the board regarding this item, please step up to the podium and state your name and city of residence. If you are joining remotely and would like to make a public comment, click on the reactions icon located at the bottom of your screen. In the reactions window, click on the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. Speakers will be allowed to address the board in the order they appear on our screen. President Salazar, we do not have any participants who wish to address the board at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. And now entertain a motion and a second to approve item 12A2. Please state your name when you make the motion and second the motion. Trustees,
Trustee Cortez, I move to approve item 12A2 as stated.
do you have a second?
Trustee Ahmad, second.
It has been approved, it had been moved by trustee Cortez and second by trustee Ahmad to approve item 12A2. Ms. Martinez, please pull the board.
Trustee Dugan Martinez, is absent. Trustee Garza, absent. Trustee Ahmad,
Yes.
Trustee Cortez,
Yes.
Trustee Divert,
Yes.
Trustee Fleek,
Yes.
Trustee Seibert,
Yes.
Clerk Mendoza,
Yes.
President Salazar.
Yes.
President Salazar, I count as 7 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, 2 absent.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Item number 13, we gotta go back to item 11B1 on the new business, which is the award bid 011224 for the Matilda Torres High School pool bleachers project.
President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, and members of the board, we're right at the end here with some of the final touches to the project at Torres High School. This is one of those things that we have tabled just a bit to get us to this point. So Mr. Schwartz, take it away and explain.
Yeah, I can give you a little background and then I know trustee Seibert had some questions. So I've got Rosalind Cox, our director of facilities on Zoom to answer anything really specific. But the bleacher project at Torres High School, if you remember, the board approved purchasing those bleachers off of a piggyback contract in 2022. We pulled those bleachers and the installation of those bleachers out of the stadium project because of the funding. We could save money by purchasing directly from Southern Bleachers and not having contractor markups and things like that. So that's what we did. We pulled that out. We submitted it separately to DSA as a separate project. And then this is actually the awarding of the bid to do some of the additional concrete work, footings, making an adjustment with a gate that DSA required, and installation of those bleachers to finish off the aquatics complex. So I know there's some questions, and I think Rosalind's online.
Okay, well, when we designed that project and those bleachers, we designed it so all the lane ropes and everything, dividers, would go in the front of the bleachers underneath. It's supposed to be a little like a little garage. And the seats would be above. And then, so when I was reading this in our agenda packet, it's talking about putting all the equipment behind the bleachers. So you guys have changed that?
And I think Director Cox, do you,
Yes.
can you?
Yes,
answer?
I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so trustee Seibert, the new bleachers, they are 10 rows. So at the time, we were looking at a 5-row system, but in order to maximize that area, we were able to go up to 10 rows. And that afforded us an area behind those bleachers to use as storage. So yes, that area behind the bleachers will be used as storage. We'll have that fenced off with fencing and gates to store any sort of pool equipment necessary.
When we were designing the school, the idea was to make it easy and efficient that those lane ropes would go right underneath the first row of bleachers. You don't have to pull them all the way around behind bleachers or anything, you know, because it took them, you know, the coaches used to complain, it takes a lot of time, you move this equipment around, so it was designed to be real efficient. And so why did you guys change it?
I don't recall the conversation of it being kind of behind you're saying the first row, trustee Seibert?
It's in the front, so you take it out of the pool and it goes right underneath the bleachers. And instead of have to go clear around the back and, you know.
We also have, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Director Cox, this is Todd. I don't recall that. And I'm trying to, I feel like I was in that meeting. I feel like there was a discussion about it, but I don't know if I ever saw a plan about it.
Oh, darn.
Yeah.
I'm lost. Apologize.
No, I remember the discussions about possibly having storage in front. I don't know if it ever got into plans. But I remember having discussions about that. Rosalind, we had our athletics and aquatics people from the site involved in the design of this. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep. Yeah, multiple meetings with
Where
the athletic director.
we were designing in the first place.
So normally what we'll do is we'll bring our end users into these meetings and talk through options and what have they seen at other facilities and what do you guys want to do with that. And I do remember that specific conversation early on before we designed anything. I can say, and I don't know if this is any factor in all, but those lane lines pretty much stay in the pool for pretty much half the year. The only time they'll come out during water polo season when our swimmers are involved in water polo. And then as soon as water polo season's over, the lane lines go in and they stay in permanently. So they're not coming in and out a lot, but they do need to be stored during water polo seasons when we need the full pool.
Yeah, I mean, just, you know, we spent a lot of time talking about that. Then I read in the thing, you know, they're gonna store everything behind the bleachers, so it's kind of, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here?
And there's a lot of other equipment that we would have to store behind the bleachers, other than lane lines as well.
You know, well, the
Covers.
swim coaches used to complain about, you know, storage of that stuff.
Yeah. And Madera High,
That's
yeah,
all.
because of the way that's designed.
I just want to make sure it's, we're doing something that's efficient and not cumbersome like Mid-Or High.
One of the nice things too about Torres is because it's a 50-meter pool, you can leave, for example, if we've got some kind of master swim or other swimming programs there, we've got our warm-up pool that they can utilize that, is available during water polo season. And then I think that we even can leave some of the lane lines in on our short course during water polo season.
Where are they stored at South?
They're actually stored on the side of the pool. There's like a storage unit, kind of, if you know where that facility well, there's a scoreboard on kind of by the locker rooms. It's over to the left of that. And then there's another storage unit off on another corner.
First row, you almost have to build a mechanism below that, so I'm sure it was costing.
Yeah,
The lane reels are-
they're on reels. Yeah, they're on reels and they're on wheels on a reel, and they push the reels back.
Run reels and actually turn them on there, and then they.
It also sounds, and Rosalind, I'm glad that you're online. It also sounds like the previous plans that we had would have given us the ability to seat 5 rows of fans. We're able to double that going
That's
this.
correct.
Is that not correct?
Yeah, the 5 rows would only be about 368 seats. With going 10 rows, we're about at 736 seats. So again, trying to maximize that space as much as possible.
And one of the things too that I think was a consideration that we all had was that the 50-meter pool in the location it is, with that particular layout, just the facility itself would be a pretty good draw for a lot of competitions and would help us to, really put a club program and certainly the Toro Aquatic program on the map, right? Really to bring in high numbers of spectators for different competitions and meets. So I know that seating was kind of a premium in all of our discussions. So it sounds like that part of the discussion won out over storage.
Are we gonna have
That's correct.
shading? You're gonna have a shade roof over it? seating?
There's no roof over this current bleacher system right now. We can come back and do that as well after the fact if we want to do some kind of shade structure. But we were just trying to get the bleachers in so that we could host, as Superintendent Lyle said, events.
And we do acknowledge that we always liked the idea of a shade structure. It was just a matter of you can have anything you want, but not everything you want, kind of a discussion. And we do want a shade structure there to help us. I mean, all of us were kids on a pool deck once upon a time. Several of us were. I know I spent way more time on a pool deck than I ever wished I did. And the heat in August and July is just absolutely awful. So we know that just to make that habitable for spectators and for families, that's something down the road we're going to need to really consider.
Okay, any other questions?
Stated to approve by the board for September 27, 2002, but I think it's supposed to be 22.
It is supposed to be 22. Yeah, I caught that too.
Yeah, sorry, that was a typo.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. Item number 13, announcements. Superintendent Lau, do you have any announcements for the board? Oh, well, the passage was part of the consent agenda. Now we have to vote on it.
We pulled it out.
Can you pull the board, please?
Absolutely.
Do we have a motion?
Need a motion?
And you guys run the meeting. You need a motion? Trustees, I need a motion. I need a motion for a trustee.
I'll move for approval. What do you want?
What are you asking to approve?
Bid award number 011224 for the Matilda Torres High School Pool Bleachers Project.
Do I have a second on the motion?
Trustee, or Clerk Mendoza, I second it.
Okay. Let's see, I have trustee Dybert that has, excuse me, trustee Seibert has moved to approve motion. Let me get to a motion thing because I don't have the wording. Anyways, move to approve the motion for item 11B1. I have a second by Clerk Mendoza. Mrs. Martinez, can you please pull the board?
Trustee Duque Martinez. Absent. Trustee Garza is absent. Trustee Ahmad.
Yes.
Trustee Cortez.
Yes.
Trustee Dybert.
Yes.
Trustee Fleek.
Yes.
Trustee Seibert.
Yes.
Clerk Mendoza.
Yes.
President Salazar.
Yes.
President Salazar, I counted 7 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and 2 absent.
Thank you. Item number 13, announcements. Superintendent Lau, do you have any announcements for the board?
Just a few. This is Black History Month in February, and we'll have a celebration to reflect that at our next board meeting. We also had a really fantastic evening with the NAACP this last Saturday when 2 Madera Unified exemplary educators, Mr. Allen and Alex Smith, were honored. I will also be attending the AASA National Conference on Education in San Diego later this week, and we'll have the opportunity to present with NCE and a fellow superintendent from Santa Ana Unified. President's Day is next Monday, February 19th. Schools and district offices will be closed in observance of this holiday. Our next DLAC meeting will be on Monday, February 26th at 6 p.m. I'm not sure that's been assigned a location just yet. Are we in this space, or we'll get the location for you ASAP. And then the Madera Unified Jobs Fair is scheduled for Saturday, March 16th from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. here at the district office and across the street at SPAN. It'll be a really exciting opportunity. There's been a lot of planning and organization go into this. We learned a lot last year. It'll even be better this year.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Miscellaneous board member committee and information reports. Trustees, at this opportunity for you to provide the board updates on reports from committee meetings, events you have attended. Please be brief and sharing some of the meetings you've attended. Trustee Ahmad.
Nothing to report at this time.
Trustee Cortez.
Yes, I was just wondering if perhaps we could form an ad hoc committee regarding
Reporting on your committee you attended.
I'm sorry.
Future planning.
I'm sorry, the title 14 says miscellaneous, so,
Well, this is the board meeting committee information report.
okay, I apologize.
Do you have any,
Not right now. I'll save it for the advanced planning.
Trustee Dybert?
Yes, I attended on January 29, the DLAC meeting. They discussed about the reclassification process with the parents. Parents were very engaged, and the staff really helped lead that meeting very well. I also attended the art jam, and I was very, very happy to see how the creativity of the students were in display with the materials they were given. So it was pretty good. I want to commend Papa Director Brandon Gillis and Mr. Richard Delgado and all the staff that was there. It was very nice. On February 1st, I attended the Parsec Summit. I was inspired by our students that presented, our own students. They share a lot of their inner feelings and challenges they faced through the years in their personal lives and also at school. One of the things that resonate with me was one of the students, and I wrote it down. Actually, 2 of them. Our student, Madera South High School, said that she thought there were not enough Black teachers on campus or that know about Black history. So that was something that she wanted to see. And then one student, her name is Karina Tate, she said a statement. She said, "We forget about our future because we focus on our past." So I took that and I like how the girls were very expressive about their feelings. I attended 2 breakout sessions too, and one for Madera Unified. Our principals, Perez and Rocco, did an outstanding job on A Tale of Two Schools. I also attended a presentation by Dr. Iniguez, who is the superintendent for Parlier Unified School District, and Mr. Serrano, who is representative from UC Merced. And they talk about the success through uh, intentional interventions, accelerated math. And one of my takeaways was that although the math sessions that they had, the Saturdays at the colleges, didn't really raise their math scores, but what they did is motivated the students to be interested in math and apply it to life skills. So one of our own teachers also teaches that class. On February 7, I attended the PAC meeting. The parents were were presented with the LCAP priorities and were asked to place their dots on the priorities. They were very engaged and discussing and asking a lot of questions to staff. And I think that's it for me now. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Dybert. Trustee Flick?
About what is happening with the state legislative body. The art jam at Madera South gave students an opportunity to display their art and interpret what they created. Trustees Cortez, Dybert, Salazar, and I attended the Parsec Education Summit in Fresno. The theme was Measure What We Value 2024. The sessions were led by school districts sharing what is working at their schools to help hopefully all our students. The NYL Wrestling Tournament at Torres was exciting and well run. Both girls and boys participated. It's good to see that now people are getting used to seeing girls at wrestling. As usual, the FFA dinner was well attended and items raffled were very creative and useful. These items are made by the FFA students. Forest High School welcomed the WASP. And I know this is, I'm sorry, repeating things you already know. The Western Association of Schools and Colleges team an accreditation group. Later in the week, they gave a favorable report, but we have to wait for the state to give the official report. The district is still keeping parents informed about adding 7th and 8th grade classes to Madison Elementary. PAC meetings are always an important source of information from our parents and schools. The LCAP is a main part of those meetings. This is the second week of the third grade tours at the Madera County Historical Society Museum. The NAACP Gala honored many outstanding leaders in our community. The food was good and visiting with friends was very good.
Oops. Thank you, trustee Flick. Trustee Cyber? We could bring it up on advanced planning. We could bring it up on advanced planning, yeah. We move the next thing. Anything else? Clerk Mendoza?
Nothing now.
Myself, I attended also the interviewing the architects for the ELP project. and then attended DLAC and for the staff, was sharing with the parents and everything, the reclassification. What are we, like 92% or 94% rate plus? And so they're doing an excellent job and preparing the parents with the LPAC for the students. Also the RJAM, my congratulations to the different schools that competed and also, showing their artistic to us. That was fantastic. Like the other trustees shared, I attended the summit with Parsec. And then also last weekend, I was part of the judges for the academic decathlon at South Campus, attended the FFA dinner. I did win 3 items and on the bidding, and also went to go attend the WASC and also with the sheriff with us from the different team that was out there at Torres. And it's just, all the receptiveness that they had, that they got from the climate, from the students was, very rewarding to hear those feedbacks from them. Also attended the meeting with the parents from Madison, getting their feedback on the expansion of Madison. Attended also with the CVC, with Big Sauce of the meeting with the different superintendents come and we hear. And there was one thing that I was able to share with them that they didn't share with us that she's going to follow up. But those are different committees that we all attend. And I thank you very much, trustees. Again, thank you, trustees. Item number 15, advanced planning. The next regular board meeting is scheduled for February 27, 2024. Suggested future items. Trustees, do you have any items for like staff to present a future board meeting? I go first with trustee Cortez because you had an item that you wanted for future planning.
Yes, yeah, so I so I was wondering if we can have or I wanted to suggest an ad hoc committee that we form an ad hoc committee regarding the inter-district transfer issue I brought up at our last board meeting regarding, again, inter-district transfers and
transfer the
yeah, well,
policy.
as regarding sports
Yeah, but the
eligibility and how
policy?
that. Yes,
Policy?
regarding that policy, correct,
Okay.
and perhaps updating or amending that policy.
Okay. Trustee Cyber, you had a future item?
Or to go over what we're gonna do or
Facility
build with
planning.
ELP funds
Mhm.
and the site that on that 19-20 acres, we had really thought about buying that for transportation department and food services for warehouses and stuff and bus parking. And some of the plans that the architect brought back, time he built the gym, half that property was made up of parking lot. And
So you would like a
so
vision
there's
plan?
some other options, like next to Torres, there's like 4.6 acres that we already have a parking lot that we could use that property if you're going to build a big gym or a program like that. But there's also, I have other ideas too on the program, and I'm sure Cheryl can share her ideas, but I think we need to communicate a little bit more of what we expect out of the ELP. I know they're sending us a lot of money, so it seems to be a rush to spend that money so we don't lose it. And so when it's in the CVEC meeting the other day, when we had state finance people in there, I brought up, you give us this money, you give us a deadline. So we're in a rush to spend this money. And we don't always spend it the right way because you got us up against a wall. Because it takes time to plan. And if you're going to build something, it takes three years to get out of DSA. So anyway, I want us to have some discussions with the board and staff on how we're going to spend these ELP funds. And hopefully the state, we can talk to them or, maybe they'll give us more time if we have a plan for the money. Because in the beginning, if you get $23 million a year, you can't spend a lot on staff right now because you're planning stuff. But if we can accumulate that money, we can build facilities. After you build the facilities, now you have maintenance costs and you have staff. And so up front, if we can get that money, we can do a lot of planning and maybe build some things. And then, because after we build it, like I said, we got to maintain everything.
Okay, thank you, trustee Cyber. Clerk Mendoza, do you have any planning, future planning?
No, nothing. Thank you.
Trustee Fleet?
Now, to kind of go along with what Ray is saying, I think we need to take out our master plan and look that over.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Ahmad, did you have anything? Trustee Diaper, did you have anything?
And then I was gonna ask, we trustees have a lot of different items and then we want to prioritize which, if it's a board workshop or whatever. I was wondering if staff could develop like a spreadsheet where either the trustees, we don't have to wait until the board meeting, but we can input their requests that we may have that we don't have to spend at the board meeting. And then the president maybe can just mention and work with Superintendent Lyle of what the timeline will be for those items to discuss. So sometimes they wait a little longer and then sometimes we don't discuss them because there are other items that are in priority. So maybe we can prioritize those items. Saying that, I was wondering when we be scheduling our board governance workshop to develop the calendar and the board self-evaluation. I would like to request that whenever we are ready for that. And I know we already talked about this, but an update on the district goals for the next set of, I guess, from the winter NWA, goals. And then I also was wondering, we met with Assistant Superintendent Sissel regarding the ethnic studies. And she was very patient and explained to all of us, answer all our questions and concerns. But I was just wondering, when is that going to come to us at a workshop for us to discuss? Or is that going to come as a first reading and then a second reading to give a public input at a board meeting? So that's my other question.
You're
And I
talking the
think,
ethics studies curriculum?
yes,
Okay. Is that it, Mr.?
that's it.
As far as the governance, it is in planning. It's not something that happens overnight. So we did meet last week, was it, or 2 weeks ago, to start planning it. So Elizabeth's working on it to get those things to reaching out because we were asking for another outside consultant to come in. So all that takes planning. We have to see what their schedule is, what we're looking for. So that's being worked on. And then the other items, staff is taking note and they'll follow up with us on that part. And then we'll get back with the superintendent. And when you meet with the superintendent and you go over the next month agenda, those are some discussions you can have with them. There's some items, like you said, that we may have to have special workshops and we'll work on those as well. But thank you, trustees. It is 9:02. And I adjourn this meeting. Thank you for attending the board meeting. Good night.